Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag.
Where's all the people? Can't smoke a cigar? Not going to be nearly as much fun as last night. I want to thank everybody who came out last night. A wonderful, wonderful event. It was so fantastic. Alex Marlowe, absolutely great guy. Absolutely great guy. EJ Antoni was there. All of you. Proft, looking as studious and nerdy as ever. It was a fantastic evening. And it was during that night last night that we learned that another, you ready for this? Another feckless Tea Party fraud. Oh, that's not going to make any fans. Well, forgive me, but I think therefore I am. You were elected in 2012. What good were you? What did you do? How many of these Tea Party guys even still mention Obamacare, the reason they were elected, let alone when it comes to all the other debacles that were perpetrated under Barack, who likes big butts and he cannot lie, Obama, or that other simpleton who soiled his trousers and apparently still was able to steal an election. And Massie didn't say jack. Now, there's an old expression. A lot of good people say it. Tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you what you are. Well, that's only halfway there. It's not just tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you what you are, because that has too much ambiguity, too much vagueness to it. Because there are some bad people who grew up, and they used to hang around with good people, and the good people say, yeah, he's a friend of mine. I'm the king of that. Yeah, I know that guy. Scumbag. Dear friend of mine. Well, I grew up in an area where people turned and transitioned into career lifelong degenerates and Democrats. So I don't like that expression. The real expression, as far as I'm concerned, tell me who your enemies are, and I'll tell you what you are. And that's the most important one, because if you're a low-life rat scumbag, I want you to hate me, because I hate you. If you're a traitor to my country, hate me, because I hate you. I do it better than you, just like life. That's the game. So what I never liked about Massie were his friends. I never liked your friends, ever, because they were not your enemies when they should have been.
My good friend Thomas Massie lost tonight. I'm angered by the smears on his character. He lost because he had the guts to take on the Epstein class.
But he never took you on. Isn't that right, you inside trading whore scumbag California fraud?
This is worse than I thought. This guy, Ro Khanna from California, since he's been in office, he is averaging 17 trades every single trading day for an average of $16,500 per trade. 17 trades a day every single day.
Every day!
Holy, how is that possible? I'm sorry, but even if you have somebody doing this for you, how can you 17 trades a day, 2,000 days since you've been in office, 17 trades a day for an average of $16,500 a day. And he is on the Oversight Committee. So a member of the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability is doing 17 stock trades a day, every single day for 2,000 days while in office for an average of $16,500. And he's on the House Oversight and Accountability Committee. He is also he's a ranking member of the Armed Services Committee. He's also on the Committee for Strategic Competition. How does he, maybe, I get it. If you ask him, he'll be like, I don't remember. Because he's probably on the Alzheimer's Congressional Task Force. This is insane.
$170 million in 7 years of insider trading revenue is in Ro Khanna's net worth. Ro Khanna is an inside trader, scumbag, thief, fraud, who should be in prison. So when Ro Khanna calls you a friend, guess what you are? You're a fracking scumbag.
My good friend Thomas Massie lost tonight. I'm angered by the smears on his character. He lost because he had the guts to take on the Epstein class.
Or maybe he had the cowardice to go along with your inside trading, thieving, crooked, rat, Democrat traitor ass. I think it's B, scumbag. Because Massie, I couldn't help but notice, he had the mortuary makeover. When he was married the first time, he was hum and drum. He looked like a shoe salesman at JCPenney. All of a sudden, the old lady dies, and he pulls a Costanza and marries a broad that worked for him in Caligula. Inside his little soiree, his office staffer, not the one that he molested, and she turned him in. He tried to pay her off with our money. 60 grand, big story. Nobody wanted to hear about it. But Ro Khanna, he's your friend, and that's because it's one giant party. And since 2012, Massie, Kinzinger, Walsh, and countless other rat scumbags who were elected to represent the people who were honest, who made their money, who knew the destruction Barack Obama would do and would be done by that dimwit Joe Biden and would be done in perpetuity as the spending and the laws, they're nullified. I mean, there's nothing you can do. They're in perpetuity with 3% kickers a year. You need a rogue to transform this country. And that's why we elected Donald Trump. And who sat in the way every single time? Tom Massie.
I would have come out sooner, but I had to call my opponent and concede, and it took a while to find Ed Galrein in Tel Aviv.
And that's the other thing, you lying scum perpetrating a fraud about Tel Aviv and Israel not recognizing its Western civilization in a Middle Eastern theocracy run hellhole where they get killed and Christians get their heads sawed off. But Tom Massie wanted to pretend that Israel was the problem. Anybody want to bet how much money linked to Qatar and the Middle East and Islamo-Nazis traced to his coffer? Are you going to mix it in with the inside trading? Or how does that work? And this is the argument of the day. So good riddance, scumbag, and your phony virtue. I think it should be under investigation. Just like $170 million of insider trading profit Ro Khanna, your ass partner.
He lost because he had the guts to stand up against the war in Iran. He worked with me to pass
the war in Iran. Which part are you talking about, stupid? The one you insider traded the information? Or are you talking about the one that politicians have been running on promising us that would happen if the Islamo-Nazis ever threatened us in a fashion of nuclear?
Is that if Iran ever had the knowledge to develop a nuclear weapon and they passed that knowledge onto a covert program, which at one time in their history has existed, the world would be more dangerous. And now's the time for the international community to work together.
If Iran were to launch a nuclear attack on Israel, what would our response be? And I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran. Because whatever stage of development they might be in their nuclear weapons program in the next 10 years, during which they might foolishly consider launching an attack on Israel, we would be able to totally obliterate them.
Now, granted, the Duchess of Chafington, everybody knew she was just angling for a campaign contribution. How many times did Ro Khanna facilitate policies that enriched not just Barack Obama, but Hillary Clinton? You see, he sat on all those committees and never once an investigation. Now, what was the other party said, Squirrel? Something about the Epsteins?
Consequential and popular piece of bipartisan legislation in recent history in the Epstein Transparency Act.
Epstein Transparency Act. Well, how come you didn't care about the very young girl that worked in Massie's office? Not the young one that he married after his wife died. He married the side broad. The one that he just molested, and she went for help, and he tried to bribe her.
Forms or identify any evidence or identify witnesses?
Yeah.
Did you comply with all those requirements?
I did.
And in the course of filling out those documents, did you by any chance list Thomas Massie as a potential witness?
I did, yes.
How did he react to that?
Well, out of courtesy, when I started the process, I called him up to let him know. And he was very angry. And he said, you're just one person, that you can't make a difference, that you need to just walk away. And
Why isn't this working? His excuse is that Cynthia West, which is her name, Cynthia with a Y. Cynthia West, she was my girlfriend. Well, how was she your girlfriend? First, the old lady died, and within weeks, you got yourself a makeover in the mortuary, a new hairdo by a licensed beautician, and you got yourself a new Brandon Johnson wardrobe. Is that a Canelli suit you got on? You got all your new costumes. You started stepping it up, and you married the other dingbat in weeks. So when was Cynthia your girlfriend? When you were still married, you were stooping the other one too?
$1,000.
Get out the Epstein files.
He would give me if I could just walk away. I didn't take it though.
Did he offer you a check?
No, he has cash. So
cash.
So
does he pay
it's part of
taxes
his
on
cow
that
money,
squirrel?
right? It's
Cow
his
money?
non-traceable money.
Ooh, what a good guy, huh?
Now, wait a minute. You said it's part of his cow money?
Yeah, because he's got cows. He sells cows.
He's got cows too. Oh, he's a Renaissance man.
He keeps it kind of. Yeah.
He doesn't report it?
No.
So how did he react when you wouldn't take the money and walk away?
Well, he was very angry at that conversation. Yeah.
All right. Have you pursued both the ethics complaint and the claim under the Employee Act despite his efforts?
I did. Yes, I did.
Are either or both of them still pending?
Yes.
Are the things you've told me about your complaints to both the Ethics Committee and for the retaliatory firing contained in those documents that you filed with the government?
Yes.
Epstein! Somebody
Is it
say
fair to
Epstein!
say that when Thomas Massie handed you or offered you $5,000 in cash that you were the main witness in a federal legal proceeding seeking a remedy for what you believe was an injustice?
Yes.
Has there been any resolution of either one of those proceedings to date?
No.
Have they made any efforts to resolve this with you?
Yes. So
Cynthia West isn't much of a conversationalist, but man, you should see the rack. This is what it is like for Caligula, for nerds in Washington, D.C. Now, was Massie a libertarian? Is he conservative? Or is he what I say he is? A lying scumbag who needs the taste slapped out of his mouth through his ear.
So I have an offer. It's at the House for approval, but settlement.
You have an offer of what?
Settlement for $60,000.
What?
To settle the case for the retaliatory discharge in the Congressional Accountability Act violation with the Office of Victoria Sparks. But if I do that, then I have to sign an NDA. And so I can't do that.
Where's MSNBC? CNN, I got them on here. I even got WGN. We got nothing news. The Carol Burnett of newscasts. Where's that? I don't see it on anything. You see it over there, Squirrel? You're in the other room. No, nothing, huh? Nothing on that. Quiet, because we're going to pretend that Tom Massie stands on principle. He's another $2 frackin' whore.
SOBs in Washington tried to buy my vote. They couldn't buy it.
Like you couldn't buy the other girl's silence? The other one in the office. Not the one you married. Not the dingbat that said yes. The one that said, get away from me, creepo. You couldn't buy her off. Is that what you mean like that? You lying scum.
Why did the race get so expensive?
Wait, he's on CNN. He's a victim targeted by Trump. But wait a minute. You told me Trump was at the lowest ratings ever. You told me he was at the lowest and nobody liked it. But you said that again in 2018, didn't you?
He's done. There's no question about that. He's done.
Breaking news.
A bombshell.
Today is a turning point. Today was historically bad for President Trump.
Today was a turning point.
A turning point. We're at a turning point here.
The beginning of the end for the Trump presidency.
The beginning of the end.
And breaking news.
We have another bombshell.
Mike Pence might have to assume the office of the presidency.
The call for impeachment.
Rumblings.
The Department of Agitation and Propaganda. And that's why if it's coming out of that frackin' boob tube, and it isn't from Salem, and it isn't a good-looking son of a gun with a little bad attitude, a chip on his shoulder, and dangerously good-looking on AM 560. You don't believe a fricking word of it. You hear me? Because they've been lying to you since they told you the bust-out from the west side of Chicago was going to lower your insurance premiums $2,500 a year. How'd that work out for you? 312-642-5600.
You're fired.
He's Shaun Thompson.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
And this is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
The following advertisement includes a celebrity impersonation.
The summer heat in Chicagoland is no joke. And if your old air conditioner is